everybody.
Welcome to All That Matters and More. Igamala Muzuzu.
And I'm Kamike, and welcome guys. Thank you so much for joining us. But before Tutu and I dive right into it, we just wanted to give you guys a quick disclaimer and to let you know that the content we will be providing is for entertainment, educational, and informative purposes.
Yes, guys, that the opinions and recommendations provided by us should be by no means considered as medical or professional advice.
Yes.
And yes, guys, we are in 2024. My God.
Finally crossed over.
And we did. But yeah.
But how are you?
Man, I'm great. I'm really good. 2023 was really... Hey, no thata man. But good thing is it is just literally a year of growth, and I'm so appreciative of that year. I learned so much about myself.
That's great.
And literally before the end, God was like, Mtanam, you've been unemployed for a year, child.
Hey.
I'm gonna make sure you was in. So literally, he came through and he pulled through, and I'm just very grateful for that.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so it was 2023. I believe was a very good year for me.
Okay.
And yourself?
That's good. Yeah, like it was teka-taking. I'm gonna be honest. You can't lie. I think it's safe to say that there were some good parts and there were some bad parts.
Truly.
And I think unfortunately it's just we live different lives. So for some people it may have been very, very bad, and for some it actually may have been really good, and then some like me in between. But I'm not gonna lie, it was definitely a character building year.
Yeah, it indeed
Definitely
was.
a character
And it's
building
always
year.
basically on depending on which side of the grass you're standing on.
Yeah, that's
Where
true.
you'll determine whether is it greener on that other side or is my side greener.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I don't know, but that one, I think, and I love that you said that, because lately I've actually been thinking that, sometimes actually, I think with last year I also realized, sometimes you just have to make it green on your side, hey? Like,
True.
you just have to water your side, make sure that your side is like good, and then just kind of figure it out on like your end until you can't do it no more. Then it's okay for you to move on and to look out for different things. But I think with what was happening in South Africa,
Yeah.
I don't think it was green in South Africa. I mean,
the Springboks won.
okay,
That counts. That literally covers all the sins, guys.
but I think with us preparing to end the year off and stuff, like I was just honestly asking myself, like, are we really ready for this year? I just don't think, and I think I want to put it this way. I don't think in terms of our own like personal achievements and goals and manifestations, I think that you will always be ready for that. In my opinion, you always need to be ready for that. But I think in South Africa, are we ready for the change that's going to happen? Are we ready for things such as, for example, like the load shedding? Are we ready for that? The economy just being a little bit like bad, and us not being in the same financial position as we were in. Are we ready for that as well? Have we mentally prepared ourselves for that? Are we ready to take ownership and initiative for our mental health and our mental illness, especially in South Africa? Are we ready for the petrol prices either going up or down?
Correct.
I think there's a lot. There's a long list. And I think it's safe to say that, yes, we can be positive, but also the country also determines how we're going to also move to a certain extent. And I don't know, you can correct me if I'm wrong in me saying that.
I think the country's economy determines.
Yeah.
If you were paying a house that was 15,000, you probably now a bond that was 15,000, you're probably now looking at 22,000, which is something that was not in the budget. So it's really, it determines your livelihood and how you feel about things. And we know how certain things that happen in our communities take a toll on our mental health.
Yeah.
It affects you. So you think, with your budget, and then now that particular budget plan that you have for your personal finances, you no longer meet it, you start getting stressed. And what does that mean? It takes a toll on a lot.
Yeah.
And it also takes a toll on relationships. So what you're saying is so important. What happens in our country, 2024 elections, definitely says a lot about how the direction that you as an individual could possibly be moving in.
Yeah, and I think it's so important that you said that, and thank you for mentioning that, because politics is a major thing. I think it plays a major role in our lives in terms of who's going to be governing us. Are they for this? Are they for that? And I think, guys, with that, the election. Guys, can you please go vote? Please, guys, can you please go vote? And not just only go vote, but educate yourself on the different parties. Educate yourself. Go do a bit more research. Find out, because it's so pointless for us to be like, oh, well, I'm not going to go vote. And then we vote, and then a party wins, any party. And then you guys still complaining. But it's like, did you make an effort? Did you go try and do something in order for there to be just a little bit of change, even if it's not like drastic or big, I don't know. Like, I think with food prices as well going up, that one was a big one for me because like vegetables and fruits, like a basic need, is so expensive now. We should be able like to afford like your mealie meals, your rice, your fruits, your veggies, I mean, meat, yes and no to a certain extent. But I think your chips, your sweets or whatever, you honestly don't need that. But
you can cut down.
Do you get what I'm saying? So that one for me, and that one as well is really scary considering the fact that like already we know in which position we are in South Africa. So I'm thinking to myself now, like imagine like people who cannot afford or who literally have to take care of like multiple family members, like food. Food is so important.
Yeah, food security is key in any economy.
I think that one for me was just like when I sit sometimes and I always tell my mom, I'm like, sometimes we can be so ungrateful without even realizing it. And I'm like, just the fact that we can eat, just the fact that we can get up and still push and want to achieve what we want to achieve, and still have means at the end of the day. It's like very big. And not a lot of people do have that, unfortunately.
And that's so true, not a lot of people have it. And you touching on in terms of what, the food prices going up, guys. I think this time or, 2024, you need to teach yourself things. You need to teach yourself skills. And for instance, vegetables are so easy. You can easily plant them in your house.
Yeah.
Plant them in your yard. If it means having spinach, if it means having green peppers. Green peppers grow, guys. If it means just doing things that would normally be out of your comfort zone, just to assess your situation and be like, how can I better look at my situation? But for me, I think, you touching on that, we said we're going to go into the stories that sort of like shaped 2023 and what we should be anticipating for the new year. I think for me, the bigger story, which was towards the end, Matthew Lonnie.
Let's do good and bad.
Okay, let's do good and bad. Do you want to go first?
No, you can go first. Go, because you're itching for that one.
No, I'm not itching. But for me, I think, he's not a doctor. Matthew Lonnie. For me, Matthew Lonnie
how you're about to say doctor.
I mean, but I get what they said now because it's a social media character. So Dr. Matthew Lonnie there by TikTok. But for me, that was such an eye-opener. And I remember this year when I was taking a walk with my friend and we were just literally laughing and be like, we can literally create a false life.
Actually.
It is so easy. We saw some guy na fetsureka traka ipakile mole. There's no one we can literally pose and be like logistic babes. We could sell that, And it's just so key that social media plays such, oh my God, social media.
Yeah.
We've seen it, make celebrities build brands.
Yeah.
And at the same time, we've seen it destroy brands. And we've seen it destroy families and destroy communities. And it's just like, oh my gosh, here's this powerful tool and we really don't know how to utilize it. Or some do, some don't, depending on which odds are in your favor. And it's just like this man literally built a character. And we see a lot of people build lives on social media.
Yeah.
Right? And now when the attention is no longer there, what do they do with themselves? There's a story now about a girl who is an influencer, Menjima Lebu, and it's been said that she committed suicide. And the comments there were just like, oh, because she couldn't attain that particular lifestyle anymore. So you see now the challenges you face. You out here sitting at home comparing the little that you have to somebody who's posting what seems to be a perfect life for you, but you really don't even know whether that's true or not.
Yeah.
Are they selling you a dream or are they living their life? And I think that's something that always has us in conflict with ourselves. You want something, but you really don't know the attainment of that thing.
Yeah.
So that was Matthew Lonnie. So for me, it is a good and a bad because you get to weigh that literally you can make money out of it.
Yeah.
He was big, he was trending, he did big brands with the government. He pushed And he was on level map board. I don't know, let me not top screw that. And I think obviously the Springboks.
Yeah.
I think for me those were the key because I literally had a great time watching that game, the final game. So that was a good one, but we'll get more into it.
Yeah. I think for me the bad was I'm gonna mention two bads. Like the food security dude and the amount of kids that have been dying randomly, that one for me was just a big one because I'm like for example, I can't remember her name. That young lady that died at school and then went missing, and everybody was wondering where she was, only for them to find out that she had actually passed on, and then they threw her body, I think, like at the school ground. Mm-hmm. So it's just like the little things like that have been happening. Like for me, I think that's bad because I'm like where as adults do we need to step in and all be responsible, you know, and where do we draw a line of, but that's not my child. But as soon as, for example, with schools, as soon as a child enters the premises, it's all of the adult's responsibility, you know. As a parent, you have instilled that trust in them to be like, they can take care of my child, you know.
Yeah.
And I also think for parents as well, like, are we aware where our children are going? Do we know where our children are 24/7 of the majority of the time that they are, you know? And I know, like, kids are kids, especially when they get to their teenage age. Like, do you know what I'm saying? And anything can happen at any given moment in time. So I think for me, that one was a big one. We need to watch out for our children a lot more. They are the future at the end of the day, you know? So when little things are happening like this, it's like you lose some sort of a hope. We don't have kids yet, but we worry. Like when we have kids, like how are things going to be?
How's the world going to be? Is it going to be better for them?
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then I think the good one is definitely the Springboks, baby. Like I just love the vibe, the way that people like went out and supported them, you know. I think it was just a good time for South Africa to kind of be like, yeah, it's pretty shitty right now, excuse my language, but you know what, we can all come together and just enjoy the moment. And I think if we all lived in the moment, despite your challenges and your circumstances, life would just be a little bit better and it would alleviate just a little bit of pressure on top of your shoulders, you know? So yeah, I think that would be my good and my bad.
Yeah, but I think we're so wrong because a lot of good did happen in sports in our country. We had Banyana win the World Cup.
Yeah.
And we had the Proteas. They made to the finale of the Cricket World Cup. So I think we need to literally give them a shout out to say
sports is very big.
Sports is very big. And you know, sports, you know, we have sports psychology and it's all about the mental toughness that these players need to go through for them to accomplish the things that they accomplish. To represent your country is something completely different.
110%.
And I think Bafana doesn't quite get that. So they need to
get it together,
and make it work fast because literally having to carry the flag and the hopes of everybody is just literally something totally different. It's a different kind of responsibility. It's a big responsibility. And with that kind of responsibility, the mental preparedness that you need to be in to understand sort of the power you have. Because when the boys won the rugby, literally everybody was ecstatic. Literally, we were what you call a rainbow nation, what Mandela had wanted. So for me, that was a good thing. But also touching on, you know, I believe the children are the future. There was really a big story, like about 2 kids who lost their lives after eating from Pakistan. You know, and I think that's the biggest thing that happened. Even that show, Yako Moja Lava Man, Skipama Files, literally, they were on a trend about letting the community know about these stores with the. Oh, but also it just says with the black people. We guys, do we really care for ourselves? Do we really care for our race? We'd stop taking and go to my friend's store, you know, and it's like, but here is my friend selling, you know, expired goods, and we continuously go there. So for me, that really highlighted a lot of things in our country that sort of just shines on what the change that we need to do. More so, the biggest change starts with communities. As much as we'd want to look at the government to say, yo, read who's saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But literally, it's us, the people. we need to do the work. You know, it's so easy to say the government is failing us, but it's actually not the government. It's the people in government that's failing us. And that's your sister, that's your mother, that's your friend, that's your brother, that's your uncle, that's your grandfather, you know, and that's your friend. And it's so important to have those conversations with your family. Like, we need to do better for ourselves, not just for Batubakontu, but, you know, we operate in a larger system that is outside of ourselves. So,
No, 110%. I think with that one as well, it's just like the kids and dying. Like with that, something so simple, dude. And you know what? With that one, unfortunately, what sucks with that one as well is that I think it's a, I don't know what word to use, but for example, when you, whole lie, like I'm in December, it's like literally 2 houses away. But the fact that those adults aren't responsible enough to make sure that like December, like those things aren't expired. Once again,
I don't think they care.
They don't do. Like, I think for them it's just a thing of, we're here to make money, and to a certain extent, these people seem like we can exploit them, you know, even though it necessarily doesn't seem like
I don't think exploitation is the word. I think they just found an opportunity in a race that doesn't really favor their own. So it is so easy to operate in that system.
Yeah.
Because if the two of us don't like each other and a third person can capitalize on that, why wouldn't you? Because at the end of the day, they're going to make the profit. Because we'd rather go, instead of supporting each other, we'd rather go support them. So it's a...
Listen, yeah, I'm down for Mum Tembi.
Mum Tembi.
I stay going to Mum Tembi. Whenever I see them, I'm just like, whenever I see their little things, I'm just like, I guess sure more. And that's the thing, unfortunately. And also, you are right. I think they find gaps in our society, insert themselves, and I mean in everything and anything that we do where we want to challenge ourselves. Like, for example, like when we were doing our 4th year research project, they said if you want to find a topic, find a gap in society where that particular issue or dilemma is not being spoken about. You insert yourself and you're going to see that the topic is obviously going to thrive, you know. You'll get the response that you want. So I think you are right. People are opportunists, and unfortunately we always fall for the trap. And going back to it, guys, just take care of yourselves, and always, it comes within here. Like, you need to tell yourself, like, no, I need to do better, or you need to think about the repercussions as well. Don't just say, but because we live in South Africa, that's why it keeps getting so bad, because there's no end to it, you know?
And for you, what would you say? I think we've touched on most of what's happening in our society, and we could go on an endless list, because, guys, a lot of things
have happened. Yeah.
Like, we could talk about the building that burned in the CBD, where 72, I was about to say 72,000. 72 people lost their lives, and it's such a very sad incident, you know. Despite you being a nationalist, probably like I am, who's pro-South African, before Africa in a sense, but it's just really something that shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
And it just literally goes back to what we need to fix in the next coming years.
Yeah, and I think just to wrap it up, you're right. There's a lot of digging we need to do deeply, I feel. A tremendous amount in everything and anything that we do, you know. I think that's where we are also lacking in society. We are so afraid to actually truly face ourselves that would rather hide behind a lot of things. And it's so bad, because then you're burying yourself. You're just going deeper and deeper in the hole, when in actual fact, like, you need to dig yourself out of that hole.
Yeah.
Start with you.
Exactly. And what's mental health 2024 looking like?
Listen here, mental health, baby, all the way. Like, that's what I always keep saying. I think that it will get better. There are a lot of conversations, you know, that are going around. Do I think that we still have a lot of work to do? 110%. Do I still think that a lot of people still do need to participate? 110%. But we are aware. And that is so beautiful.
That is so beautiful indeed. And I just really like that people are actively making the effort.
Yeah.
You know, whether to educate themselves or to be more open to conversations. And I just literally like how companies are also opening it up.
Yeah.
It's not just like employee wellness and they're just focusing on the physical activity, but having people in organizations, having psychologists in such working organization literally alleviates a lot for employees. And I'm hoping it's also done in schools, where literally children can have people to talk to, like sort of like the Sakowake Children's
Yeah.
Foundation that's happening at Glen Austin High. So having such things as like the web of care for learners, that they can literally go to someone and offload certain parts that they're really not aware of, or just shine light on certain feelings, or behaviors. So for me, it's a very high key. But for me, 2024 mental health. Oh, band.
I hope that's a good bandla.
Oh, bandla. Oh, no, only God knows. There's something you just gotta be like, I'm gonna put
Give it to God.
Give it to God and sleep, mama, because you'll never really know, but you just have to be hopeful. But for me, it just looks more like putting in the work. And I think putting in the work in terms of going to therapy.
Yeah.
I think it's so easy that we can talk about it or think we're talking to our friends or our family or just making better decisions, but that's not always the case. So it's just like, I've made the decision now to be like, I'm going to take therapy so seriously like I never have. Because, I think sometimes I've just been out here lying to myself.
Yeah.
Bad. And I think that's what, I really don't know, but I feel like it's just me being sort of accountable to myself and how I feel. I think so many times we focus on actually not how I feel, but how people make me feel. I think most of the times we focus on how I feel about a particular person or what I see or what I believe in for them, and not necessarily how people are making me feel. So then that removes everything. It's like, no, because mina ngiyathanda.
Yeah.
Not knowing ukuthi noma uthanda nganye abantu kodwa izinto ezikanje, like it's causing you pain.
Yeah.
So what happens when you're in that state? And so I think that's so key for me to be like, I need to sit on someone's couch other than this yellow one and literally take time to do the work.
Yeah. Yo, guys. Re busetsa matlhogonolo matlhatsi le matlhogonolo for this year. I just think, yeah, man, to our viewers out there, to you, to Maz, I think to everybody from my side, just to close it off, it is 2024 growth and prosperity. Growth and prosperity in everything that we do. Maybe just reach the goals that we want to reach. Maybe find, I don't necessarily want to say true happiness, but maybe be content, with ourselves, with what we want to do and where we want to end up. So only God knows, like you say. Some things you just give it to God and you sleep.
God and rest.
And you move.
And I would honestly like to take this time to thank our viewers at home, our lovely audience, I don't even like saying our followers, but for the people who week in, week out, you continuously go on our page, you've literally subscribed, you like, you share, you hit that notification bell, you honestly liking all our posts on Instagram and commenting and even like going to TikTok and just having an input and a laugh with us. I just honestly, from the bottom of my heart, when Komiki and I started this, I honestly didn't know what it would turn out to be. And I am so appreciative of everyone that's continued to, care in terms of what's happening with the podcast. What are we posting? Have opinions on the interviews that we have or all our episodes. So I really, really appreciate that. And it's just as sad. Oh, Sana, I won't cry. It's just really super sad that I have to bid you guys a farewell. Yeah. I think the viewers at home know how much this meant to me. And sometimes it's okay. I think I had this conversation in the office and it was just like, it's okay to let go of certain things, irregardless of how you feel about them. But you don't want to find yourself in a position where you're losing parts of yourself or the person that you want to become. And it is so sad. Oh my gosh, guys, I don't understand how it is to think where we started, where it was just two pretty girls.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't have a place, we didn't have a mic, we got mics, and then we were shooting at Gomiki's house, and then when we tried to edit, there'd be like noises outside, and you know, to Maz joining in, you know, he literally joined in to help us in literally a heartbeat. We had nothing, and he opened his home. Usana. Yeah, and he opened his home and he's allowed us to create something. And I honestly, you know, guys, I share the content. And yeah, I'd just like to thank the both of you for everything, for all the hard work, all the efforts, all the fights, all the character development, because I think this really did. And just genuinely all like doing things from the bottom of our hearts. So yeah, that's it from me, guys. I am signing out, and I love you guys, and I wish everybody a lovely 2024. Be intentional in all that you do. Put in the work. I think we always say we're gonna put in the work, and we're honestly not putting in the work, but literally, if it means you need to change certain things and you need to and be disciplined, guys, and that's it from me.
Yo, that was quite sad to hear.
It was a lot.
We would like to... Oh, Matt speaking behind the mic, guys. Would like to take this moment just to say thank you, Tutu, for putting this together. You had a beautiful, brilliant idea, and it was very easy for me, like you said, to just step in and just push it from there, because from inception, it was just a brilliant idea that you had, and you gave birth to something that I personally going to take care of and try to push forward with it. Hopefully Komiki is also on the same page with me. So farewell. We wish you luck in everything that you do. You'll always be or have an imprint.
I'm still gonna be a shareholder.
You're still gonna have some kind of an imprint in our hearts. You know, we really appreciate what you have done for the show today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for everything. I think when we started, you literally made me... I don't even think that I was even capable or possible of even joining a team and doing something like this. So, honestly speaking, you know where we come from. It wasn't easy.
Yeah.
It really wasn't easy where we come from. The challenges, spoken about, unspoken about, but this means a lot to me as well. Because you came to me, you had faith in me. The fact that we could even stay for so long as females and to work together, it means that you have a tremendous amount of tolerance and beauty in you that you see in others. So thank you so much for that. Honestly speaking, the idea that you had was beautiful, and I just hope that, you know, you as well, you know, go into other spaces and touch people's hearts and create even more beautiful things the way that you have, you know, and just have them become the lights that they are and become beautiful, become big, grow, all of the words that can attach to just growth and beauty. I hope that you can also do the same for others as well, you know.
Oh, you guys are so sweet.
It's not the end. It's a new beginning.
It is.
Episode what? With 40, 43, 40? We're somewhere there, right?
Yeah.
It's a lot of episodes. Sure. It's a lot of episodes. And I said, it's not the end, it's the beginning of something beautiful.
And here's to us signing out for the last time, guys. If there's anything you'd like to share, email, you can definitely catch us on info@mattersandmore.co.za.
Yes, guys, you guys can also definitely check us out on Instagram at mattersandmore and TikTok.
Yeah.
TikTok's still okay because people really do engage there at Matters and More as well, guys. Thank you so much.